Hello and welcome to the University of Botswana Indoor Sports Centre here at the Netball World Youth Cup in Gaborone. You join us on day 6, which is our first day of our qualifier rounds. We've got teams here. We're going to be playing game 3 and we have Scotland versus Australia. We've already seen New Zealand play, South Africa play, and we've just had Uganda and Fiji in a very close game. These two teams will be playing off. The winner will go through to play off for a semi-final position, and the team that loses will be going to have a game to see where they fall between positions 8 to 5. I am joined in the commentary box by Sam Bird. Sam is an ex-England wing attack. She's a current netball national selector for England, and she's the England technical coach who's going to be assisting me today. Sam,
hi Alison.
Hi. I saw that you watched the Scotland game yesterday, so you have a little bit of insight to that team.
I did, and I was really impressed with how they did yesterday, Scotland. They showed some really good competitive edge on a very close game, and it was really good to see Scotland performing so well. It's going to be very interesting to see how they go now against Australia, who are obviously known as a very strong team in the world, but very much looking forward to the match.
Coming off a good win, hopefully they'll bring some of that momentum into the starting stages of this game. We just have Australia finishing off their warm-up, and we have the teams for you. So for Scotland, at goal shooter we have Goodwin. At goal attack we have McDonald. At wing attack we have Boyle. At centre we have Einon. At wing defence we have Anton. At goal defence we have Edgar. And at goalkeeper, we have the captain, Sutherland. The coach for the Scottish team is Leslie McDonald. We have our Australia lineup here for you as well. Goal shooter, we have Glasgow. Goal attack, we have Austin. Wing attack is the captain, Petty. Centre, we have Price. Wing defence, Anstis. Goal defence, Eddie. And goalkeeper, Hinchcliffe. The coach for Australia is Tanya Obst. The teams are just preparing to take the court for game 3 on day 6 of the World Youth Cup here in Gaborone, Botswana. We've been treated to 2 fantastic games of netball so far today, and we are looking forward to this game between Scotland and Australia.
And this is it, Ali, really. The coaches have done all they can now to prepare the teams for this match, and it's really down to the players on both sides now to just bring their A game into this knockout match. So I'm really looking forward to it starting.
The nerves will be setting in at this point, do you think?
Yeah, but a great opportunity for these players to play in a tournament like this in the World Youth Cup, and fantastic experience for all of them.
We've had the opportunity to witness some very young players as well.
Of the tournament. Please help me welcome on court Team Scotland!
Team Scotland are welcome to the crowd. We have our umpires for you today. We have Marilou van der Meer and we have Yubi Ling, and our reserve umpire is Kate Stevenson. So we're in very safe hands again for this game today. Scotland have taken the court, and we have Australia announced to this crowd. I'm sure they're excited to see this game get underway. So These two teams have made it into the top 8, so we had some pool rounds for the first 5 days of this competition. The top 2 teams from each of the pools have, in each of the 4 pools, have been put together, and they are now fighting out for top 8 positions. The first team in this game will play the winner of the England-Jamaica game, which is to follow. The loser of this game will still have another opportunity to try and find what position they fall into within the top 8. And Australia have the first centre.
Oh, and a great intercept already there by Beth Sutherland. Really good challenging early on.
It's great to see the captain start the game with an interception there for Scotland, really trying to push them along. Unfortunately, they weren't able to maintain possession.
And Australia will play a tight man-to-man game, heavy arms over, and a fast, quick game. So it'll be interesting to see how Scotland cope with that style of play.
Shot there for McDonald, but unfortunately a miss. This is going to be a similar game we had at the start of today. Any misses, and potentially Australia are going to capitalise on this. So we definitely need to cut out any of these areas. Some great shooter-to-shooter passes there.
And an early indication there, Alison, of a triangle work that Australia are setting up to really challenge the Scottish defence. Be interesting to see if that develops, but their mid-court will try and set up those triangles to move the ball around, which makes it very difficult to defend.
Australia have settled well in the start of this quarter. Current score is 3-0 for Scotland. So with a score line of 3-0, Australia are on the attack again.
And you just saw there that baseline run from the Australian goal attack, really strong onto the ball. She did miss the shot, so Scotland have a chance to make the most of this turnover.
Definitely need to see Scotland capitalising on any mistake that Australia might make, because I would imagine they're going to be few and far between. We have some of the England fans there ready for the game that follows this one. Obviously interested in this result, because as we said, we are through to the qualifying stages, and the winner of this team will play the winner of the game that follows, which is England versus Jamaica.
So you can see the defensive pressure there from Australia, making it really difficult for Scotland to work the ball in. They've got another opportunity now, but if you just have a look at Australia's setup, it's like a diamond shape, very structured defence, and very difficult to penetrate that defensive end at the moment for Scotland.
We're all willing Scotland to get through and start their campaign in this game. Good support there from the centre, Einon. And we have our first goal from Goodwin.
And she was very impressive yesterday in the match for Scotland, so let's hope that's given her a good start to carry on with that effort going on forwards in this match.
There's a long way to go in this game, but Australia take a convincing lead at the start, 6-1. We've got to remember that these teams are here because they have finished in the top 2 in the pool rounds. So over the last 5 days, we've had 4 pools of 5 teams playing out, and Scotland have already excelled where they thought they would be, getting through to the top 8. So this is a fantastic experience for them to be here playing Australia at the Netball World Youth Cup here in Gaborone.
Yes, and it's good to see how Scotland have developed over the last few years. They're becoming a really competitive nation, and that's thanks to the work they've put in back at home. And these players are the product of that hard work over the last few years.
Great intercept there from Austin. Long shot from Glasgow. Rebound collected, and she gets it on the second attempt.
And I'd just like to see Scotland try and play at their own pace here. It's very easy to get sucked into playing a very quick, fast-paced game, which is where Australia are comfortable. I'd like to see Scotland just play at their own pace and be a little bit more clinical with the ball, and that might settle their nerves going forwards.
Great support work there for Scotland. Quick ball through, lovely work. That's the netball that we want to see. And a great shot there from Goodwin, taking the score to 8 goals to 2.
And good defensive pressure again there, forcing the long shot and getting the turnover. Fantastic work from the Scotland defenders. Let's see if they can convert this into a goal.
Oh, that was unlucky. Australia have definitely started, and they look like they've got some cool, calm heads on the court as they take the lead out to 9 goals to Scotland's 2.
And this Australian team, very, very talented indeed. There are a large number of players in this squad that are playing in the top Australian league, the Suncorp League. They've been playing some fantastic netball through their domestic league here, and that quality is showing at the moment.
Scotland fans in the crowd still enjoying themselves, we just saw. Great run through. Always got to get 2 hands on that ball.
And that's a much better build-up from Scotland, more patient and rewarded with a goal. Let's see if they can make 2 in a row.
They're definitely a talented team to make their way through to the top 8. We maybe haven't seen some of what they can produce yet in this game, but it's very early days and we have had glimpses of brilliance from them. So let's hope we can put this together and really bring the challenge to Australia.
And I'm liking the work of the Australian wing defence, Anstis, at the moment. She's really shutting down that attack, marking really tight. She's got another intercept there. Wing defences are often unnoticed on court, but she's actually working really hard to break down that Scotland attack at the moment.
The post taking part in the game there, keeping the ball on court. Australia have moved it through the court quickly.
Nice work from Australia again. The shooters popping forwards, nice for that front ball. It's very difficult to mark. The defenders have to be very quick to get their feet round in order to try and intercept that ball. And I'm sure that Scotland will have targets for each quarter in this match, and they've just got to keep plugging away at this, not worry too much about the score at the moment, but just look at trying to break down this very speedy Australian attack. And when they do get their turnovers, just to try and capitalise on those with steady play through the court.
We had a glimpse then of some happy Australian fans in the crowd, definitely enjoying the start to their campaign in the qualifying rounds.
And that was excellent defending by Edgar as well there, covered that ball through that baseline run by the Australian. So good work. Let's see if Scotland can make it count.
Beautiful ball through there, through the centre court. Found the centre line on, and they were rewarded with another goal.
And Goodwin, the shooter for Scotland, is becoming a little favourite of mine. I think she's a really nice player, very strong onto the ball, nice and solid in there. I think if Scotland can get more ball through to her, they'll start making some a dent on this score.
Well read there from the goalkeeper, Hinchcliffe. It's going to be difficult to get a ball over the top of her throughout this game.
And fabulous through-court play from Australia, right through from the keeper all the way through the court. Beautiful shape, really quick play, very skillful players. Credit to the whole team bringing the ball through to goal then.
we see the lead stretch out there. 15 goals to Australia to Scotland's 4. Can they make it 5? Unfortunately, a miss
Unlucky.
there. Rebound taken by the Australian team.
If you have a look at the Australian movement off the ball, that's what's making the difference at the moment. Those players are just moving a little bit sharper off the ball, so their preliminary move is meaning that they can carry this ball very quickly through court, makes it very difficult to defend.
This goal will take us to 17 goals to 4. Great work between the shooters there. Clearly very experienced team here in the Australian team.
Yeah, and I'd just like to see Scotland try and push the Australians wide to try and slow them down a little bit in this attack, to keep their players wide so they have an opportunity to try and intercept on the second phase play.
Scotland being patient there. The arms of the Australian defence making it difficult. An interception picked up there by Anstis from Australia.
Yeah, she's doing a really good job, Anstis.
Great movement and shot there from Glasgow.
Glasgow being the Australian player, even though she's playing against Scotland.
Yeah. Again, some clinical movement there, and the crowd, the Australian fans there appreciating that.
So if you see there, that Australian defence pushed Scotland right to the side of the court so that all the play was down the one sideline, forcing that overhead pass which set up for the interception. So clever defending by Australia. So Scotland, in order to counteract that, need to try and centre the ball again, be a bit more patient and try and feed from the middle channels rather than the side of the court.
And that's important to see, isn't it? It's not just the work of the person that gets the interception. Sometimes it's the pressure of the players as it comes down the court to direct the ball. And that's what Australia are doing really well at. But we have an offside call there. Scotland momentarily back on the attack. But a flying interception from the centre, Price, gives Australia another goal.
A very impressive performance by Australia so far. There's a reason that Australia are one of the strongest teams in the world, and they're showing that right now in this game. You've got all 7 players really doing their own job, marking very tight. Scotland doing well to penetrate, but the pressure is enormous at the moment. And there's the difference. If you see Australia, Scotland pushed Australia nice and wide then, but they were patient, brought the ball back into the middle channel, and then they were able to penetrate through the court. And that's the difference between the sides at the moment.
Great tip there from the centre, Heinon from Scotland. Unfortunately, it went out of court, so Australia are back in the driving seat. Saw the Scotland players there, keeping themselves warm in case they need to make any changes.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if Sutherland came maybe out of keep to come up to goal defence. She's, I can see why she started at keeper to try and nullify the Australian shooter, but I think she might be able to help the Scotland team bring the ball through a little bit more in a next quarter, but we'll see. She is getting good turnover in that goalkeeper position, so we'll see what the coach's thoughts are.
We'll look out for that as we start the second quarter. We're coming up to the last minute or so of quarter one. This is game 3 on day 4 of the Netball World Youth Cup here in Gaborone, Botswana. We're seeing a great display of netball. We see Scotland fighting hard.
And another turnover by Scotland. Good intercept by the Australian.
Scotland defence are still working really hard. Sutherland and Edgar trying to force some errors. A missed shot there. But the rebound collected by Glasgow and the goal scored. And that's the end of our first quarter here, with a score of 28 to Australia, 4 to Scotland. So as mentioned previously, these teams have finished in the top 2 of their pools, which they've been playing in the last 5 days. So the teams have already done a fantastic job to get here. And we're now playing off the top 8 teams to find our positions. The winner will go through to fight for the top 4 positions. And the loser of this game will still have another opportunity to find their position within the top 8.
And I think for the Scottish team, it will be a case of just setting some new targets for this particular quarter. Just trying to, for me, it would be about keeping the ball, not trying to go at the Australian pace, because they're very quick side, as you can see, and playing their own game and just steadying themselves down a little bit. For Australia, I think this is business as usual. A very, very convincing first quarter. And I think Australia are ruthless in their execution of netball, and they'll be looking to repeat that next quarter.
Well, we will join you for that next quarter shortly as we leave you with some of the highlights from quarter 1. We'll see you back in a few moments' time. We join you back as we're about to start the second quarter of game 3 on day 6 of the Netball World Youth Cup here in Gaborone. We have Australia versus Scotland. Australia currently leading with 28 to Scotland's 4. and they get their second quarter off to a good campaign. Just to give you some of the stats that we had from quarter one, the shooting stats were the goal shooter for Australia had 89%, the goal attack had 90%, but we had some great stats from our goal shooter at Scotland, who was on 80%. Some of the difference was that Australia had 13 turnovers and Scotland had 3.
Okay, so let's just see where the Scottish are trying to push these Australians, to try and keep them up high and wide. Excellent pressure there from them, forcing the error. So let's see if Scotland can bring the play through. I'd like to see that ball centred now. Again, the Australia defence good through court, but that's better. The Scottish team brought the ball in the middle. That gives them more options in attack as they drive through the court. Again, though, excellent defending by the Australians, just pressuring that last ball through in the top third.
If there have been any changes at quarter time, we will bring them to you as soon as we get them.
And that defence there by Australia on the centre pass is what we call a wall defence, where all 3 players, the wing defence, goal defence and the centre, line up in a wall. It makes it very difficult to get the centre pass out forwards. So strong strategy there from the Australian defenders.
We'll look out for that as the quarter goes on to see if they do that again.
Yeah, that's a change in strategy because they weren't doing that in the first quarter. So they're maybe just testing out different defensive strategy in this second quarter.
Great shot there, to the delight of the crowd, as you can see. Scotland get their second quarter campaign underway and stretch their score to 5. Australia respond.
And there's that wall again. And what it does is it pushes the Scottish back into the middle third, so you have to be really patient with the build-up. But that was a lovely feed there by the Scottish wing attack, Boyle. Great pass in.
Much more confident start there for Scotland in this second quarter, and the crowd definitely appreciating that. Scotland continued to work hard, but Australia are definitely continuing to be clinical with their defence and attack. Current score of 33 to Australia, 6 to Scotland.
And the Scottish defence, the collective back unit, just forced another error. So good pressure from them. But a lovely hold from Glasgow in the circle there to score another goal for Australia.
Great run through there from the goal attack. Lost her defender by driving out high to the top of the circle and drove back in towards the post.
Lovely movement again from the Scottish wing attack.
Unlucky there, they're definitely fighting hard to get some more goals on the scoreboard.
Yes, and that's good. And Scotland again forcing that feed in, got a hand to it. That's good work from the Scottish unit at the back.
Austin did a similar run there to the move she did on the previous goal, so it was nice to see that Scotland had realised what they were doing and tried to stop that with a hand to the ball.
And this is another varied attacking strategy from Australia. If you watch now on the centre pass, they've just got the wing attack leading on the centre pass, and the goal attack is dropping off for the second phase and in fact driving in behind the shooter in order to take the back ball. So Australia definitely mixing it up with their strategy, probably just seeing what works best for them going forwards in this match and potentially on to other matches in the competition.
Just have an umpire time call there as the ball has gone off court. It's actually gone under the table officials' table, so we've just fished that back out.
And some of the calls on the penalties against Scotland are for use of the arm, and that tends to come when you're finding it really difficult to mark the player if she's too quick or a change of direction is too quick, and you tend to try and use your arm to slow her down, which is an illegal way to mark. So Scotland just need to try and use their feet more to stay with the player rather than their arm across the body.
A miss there for Australia, but they collect in the rebound, and Glasgow finishes off the shot.
And good patience from the Scottish. This is what they need to do, just be secure in those delivery, take their time, they don't need to rush. And then I just want the centre and the wing attacker getting caught a little bit flat, so we just want one to play in front of the other to give a bit more depth in that attack. And nice shape there in the attack by Scotland, using a triangle, turning the Australian defence. Oh, and unfortunately not rewarded with a goal. Good attacking play.
We can definitely see them opening up some space now, can't we, in the Scottish attack? We just need to make sure that they capitalise on that if they want to bring this game back closer.
Yeah, and good man-to-man marking there by Bethany Sutherland as well, forcing that overhead out of court by Australia.
It's a very contested game out there. All our players in netball need to be strong.
Oh, nice bounce pass there, good use of her brain there. Big tall defenders in that circle, and to go low is good strategy.
And that's good to see that the player's thinking on court, making some changes. She's tried the overhead ball and it's not working, so a bounce pass in has been much more effective.
Yes, indeed. And good possession again for Scotland. Just take their time. Just need to watch their timing on the movement. With this excellent man-to-man marking from Australia, tends to make the attacking players run sideways and often too early for the ball. But good patience and a great take there from the Scotland shooter. Fantastic. And followed up with a smashing shot.
Just to let you know the changes that we've had from Scotland at the first quarter break. We've had Metcalf come on at centre and McFallis come on at goal defence.
And another good intercept there by Sutherland. Just couldn't hang on to it, but good man-to-man, taking that front position, forcing that ball over, which is causing some errors, which is good pressure from her in that circle.
You can feel the crowd getting behind Scotland. They love to see great netball, but they also like to support an underdog. So with a gap of 41 goals to Australia, 8 to Scotland, Scotland are definitely getting some high cheers when they get their goals in.
And you see Sutherland there just taking that front position, making the goal attack shoots, and that's the thing to do. And a great rebound. That's great defending. Good strategy. I'd like to see Scotland bring the ball back middle now, because they're all pushed wide by the Australians. You can see they're on that baseline. And there we go. Great defending man-to-man by the Australians, forcing that mistake from Scotland.
They had the right move there, but maybe the player just needed to drive across in front of the oncoming Australian player. Maybe they can have a go this time.
And again, just struggling to get that ball through. Oh, great intercept. Unlucky. That's good effort from the new goal attack that's come on, McFallis.
We saw a shot of the subs for Scotland there. They still got smiles on their faces because, as we said earlier, in the last 5 days they have been playing in 4 pools, and the players that are here for these first 4 games today are playing off for top 8 positions. So Scotland have already done themselves extremely proud to get into a top 8 playoff.
And it's this second phase of play that Scotland are struggling with, and that's much better. Great work there. Great work from Boyle again for Scotland. Quick hands.
An excited Scottish fan there on the screen, enjoying his day today, enjoying the netball that he's witnessing.
That's better defending from Scotland. Yes, you could see that coming because they forced that over ball, that loose ball from Australia. So that pushing, Scottish defenders are pushing the Australians up high and wide, and that's paying off at the moment. They've just got to make use of this ball when they get it. Yeah, and good work again there from Boyle. She needs some support though. And the Australian wing attack front cutting to intercept that ball, so she used her feet to get round her own player to intercept that pass.
Great hands there, and I don't know how she managed to get that ball across to the goal attack Austin, but some fantastic displays of netball that we're witnessing. Scottish coach there willing her players on.
Petty there for Australia, choosing a great option into her goal attack. Seeing that space open up for them a little bit now in the circle.
As we come to our closing stages of this second quarter in Game 3, Day 6 at the Netball World Youth Cup in Haberoni. Sam, what do you think the coaches will be thinking as they go into the half-time break?
Well, I think for Scotland it's just reset. Let's try and score more goals in the next quarter than they have in this. Their defensive structures look good. I'd imagine their coaches will be saying to the attacking play to be a bit braver, really drive hard for the corners and try and get this Australian defence moving. For Australia, it wouldn't surprise me if they mix up things a little bit just to try out a couple of more combinations as they prepare to take on stronger opposition in the next round. You can see in this game they've already used a couple of different strategies, so it'd be interesting to see what they execute next quarter.
Again, great shot there. The Australian coach watching on, must be happy with the result so far.
Nice footwork from the shooter, Glasgow, just tempting Sutherland one way and then cutting back. Good understanding between her and the feeder. And here, this is the important bit for Scotland, the timing of the attack. If you can see, they're just all running at the same time, and that makes it very difficult to penetrate that Australian defence. But that's better work and good patience. Nice drive out. That's good patience from the Scottish attack. They should be pleased with that.
That defence is making it hard with that double jump defence for the shooters to get a clean shot. Australia take advantage and score at the other end. Crowd are enjoying this game today.
And that's good marking. Just again, though, just with the speed of the Aussie goal attack, Austin just causing difficulty and caused the Scottish defender to use her arm to mark her.
As we enter the closing minute or so of this second quarter, Scotland versus Australia. Scotland is still working hard.
That's a nice ball in. Let's see if she can make it count. Oh,
Unlucky
Australian
there.
defence is just so good on their discipline, on their 3 feet mark is excellent. And lovely ball in there from Price, just to round off that quarter for Australia.
That goal did not actually count as whistle had gone. So our final score at half-time is 52 to Australia, 9 to Scotland. We've seen some great displays of netball. We've seen some great grit and determination. Sam, how do both teams maintain their concentration as they go into the second half of this game?
Well, for Australia, it will definitely be trying out some new things in this second half and wanting to repeat, if not improve, on that performance. They're very clinical in their approach to their matches, and they certainly won't take their foot off the pedal, that's for sure. And for Scotland, I think it's just taking the things they were doing well in that quarter, so pushing the Australians up high and wide, seeing if they can continue with that in this next quarter, and being a little bit more clinical in attack.
Fabulous. We'll leave you with the highlights from that first half of Scotland versus Australia, and we'll rejoin you in a few moments as we start the second half of Game 3 on Day 6 of the Netball World Youth Cup in Gaborone.
Life to the fullest, I can see the difference. I'm improving day in and day out. I'm doing the most from the team. All over to Copello. Parija Parana, Buta Parade, Chava Chava Power, Ali Kibane, Capoeira, Uru, Pajaco Tupe, Kagesaliwan, Wabuwe, Navarana, Pilarana, Victory, Shekamu, Navarana,
You rejoin us as we are about to start the second half of Game 3 on Day 6 of the Netball World Youth Cup in Gaborone, Botswana. When we get the changes that have been made at half-time, I will let you know. We have an Australia centre to start.
I can see that Scotland have switched round their goalkeeper and goalie. Good patient play from Scotland. And they've got this nice rangy shooter on now. Let's see if she can pop this in. And good start from Scotland. And doubling up on the wing attack. But the wing attacks use lovely footwork there to step change onto the top of the circle to create that nice feed into the shooter. Good pressure in that circle, forcing a miss. And that's much better depth from Scotland. But again, Australia's tight man-to-man defending causing an error.
Just to confirm the changes that we do have for Australia as we go into this second half, we have a new shooting pairing. So we have Ride at goal shooter and we have Teague Neild at goal attack. We also have O'Brien coming on at wing attack, so we have a new attacking force. And we have O'Shanaze coming on at goalkeeper.
And Australia still putting into effect that wall, but illegally this time, the centre using her arm. Oh, and good strength there, forcing a penalty shot for Scotland. And a much better start from Scotland.
Crowd really enjoying the action on court here today at the University of Botswana Indoor Sports Centre. Remember, if you want to keep in touch, use the hashtag NWYC2017 or hashtag Rabatsa.
And a good feed there from the Australian centre, O'Brien. Let's just have a look how this Australian defence is setting up. So staying man-to-man, taking that front position, forcing the feed. But good work there, good quick hands, good communication between the centre and the goal attack.
When we have the changes that Scotland have made at half-time, we will get them to you. Good work there from the goal attack. Unfortunately,
unlucky.
Just dropping the ball.
Oh, and a great drive there.
Confident start again here from Australia, as suggested by Sam. They have switched up some options, so they've got some new shooters and a new wing attack.
And good pressure there from the circle defence from Australia. And let's just have a look how Australia bring this ball down. Great work there by the Scottish wing D, Antoine, just forcing that turnover. So Australia have just lost their rhythm with these changes, and Scotland capitalising on that at the moment. And sometimes when you make a number of changes, it takes a while for the 7 to get back in their rhythm. And Scotland really trying to expose that change at the moment. Nice drive through from Sutherland, but not enough on that pass. She'll have to work hard to turn the ball over again.
If we look at the stats from the second quarter, for Australia, the goal shooter was at 100% and the goal attack was at 92%, having only missed 1 goal. Scotland, however, the goal shooter at 50% and the goal attack at 66%. So when they did turn the ball over, we just need to make sure that in this quarter they try and capitalise on that.
Okay, and Australia really closing down, but again illegally executing that wall defence. So good opportunity for Scotland to go forwards. It's a bit scrappy in the end. They need to just open up that circle. The Scottish attacking players often getting forced very close to each other by the tough man-to-man marking, which doesn't give them enough space to move this Australian defence around. And so Australia staying with this man-to-man. Again, we need some movement from the Scottish attack up in that end, but an opportunity to shoot. But defensive pressure again, very good from the Australians. They're very disciplined on that 3 feet mark. And quick as you like down the other end with very quick hands. Nice sharp play from the Australians.
Is there any way that maybe the Scottish team could try and slow some of this attack from Australia?
Yeah, I think they have to work together as a unit. So they either all need to be pushing the Australians up high and wide, or they all need to take a front position. What's happening at the moment is that some are pushing one way and some are not, and that's allowing the Australian attack to drive through the holes. So it's just being disciplined as working as a defensive unit. So that's the centre, the wing D, the goal D and the keep, and that will force some errors from this Australian side if they're disciplined about that.
We did have some evidence in the previous quarter of them pushing them wide, and that did get them possession. So hopefully we'll see some more of that as this quarter moves on.
And also I would like to see the Scotland players follow through onto the passing. Sometimes they're not taking that ball hard enough or pulling it in hard enough, and the Australians are actually intercepting the ball because they're not pulling it in enough. There's a good example of that by the keeper, although just pulled up. So the Scottish players really need to be determined to take every ball they can, be as sharp as they can on receiving the ball.
And have a great shot there for Scotland, taking the score to Australia 63, Scotland 12.
Good work from the Scotland attack, much better. They need to open it up now. And that's a good use of going back to the transverse line. If you can't find a feed forwards, you need to be patient, reset the ball, get the goal attack and the goal shooter rotating in the circle to move this Australian defence around. That's a fantastic take by the Australian keeper, very athletic, read the game really well, great take from her.
And again, from that interception, quick, fast play through court, and they're already down the other end, taking a shot.
Australia's transition play is fantastic. And winning the rebounds in there as well. Ryde's got a fair bit of height on the keeper in there.
We can hear the crowd really getting behind this game. Just to confirm, Ride has a height of 198 centimetres.
Yeah, she's tall, but strong as well. Good ball skills. But a very nice target in there for the Australian side. And we should probably just say that the number of these players playing in this Australian side are playing in the Suncorp League. They're in the world's best teams: Thunderbirds, Giants, Fever, Vixens. They are playing at the best elite level, club level in the world, and they're showing their talent and their skills in this game. And Scotland have a couple of players who play in the Super League in England, Bethany Sutherland and Antoine at Wing D. So they've got some superstars of their own, but Australia just too strong at the moment. And Scotland now coping a little bit better with that wall defence that Australia are putting on. They're passing the ball back to enable some movement, which is the right thing to do, rather than force it forwards. And let's see if we have some rotation from the shooters. But again, an error forced by the pressure of the defending by the Australian defensive unit.
Just to confirm the changes for Scotland going into this third quarter, we have Barry at goal shooter, McCall at goal attack, Love at wing attack, Einon has come back on at centre, Anton stays on at wing defence, Sutherland moves from goalkeeper to goal defence, and McPhail goes on at goalkeeper.
Good girl, well done. That's a good, she read that really well, good intercept. Maybe two hands on it next time, but good work there from McPhail at keeper.
It's great to see that Scotland are still fighting hard. The score currently is Australia 70, Scotland 14.
Yeah, and it's important for Scotland to keep fighting hard because there are other competitions to come. They've got a match tomorrow, so they want to keep working, keep improving, seeing what they can do against a team of this standard, so that they can keep building on the improvements they've already made.
And just to confirm what we discussed earlier, these two teams have made the top 8 positions in this Netball World Youth Cup here at Haberoni. We have had pool competitions for the last 5 days, and both these teams have finished in the top 2 in their respective pools, and they're now in positions fighting off for top 8. So Scotland has already done themselves extremely proud and had a fantastic World Youth Cup so far, and they're just trying to see how far they can make it up the ladder in the top 8.
And a great take there from Ryden at shooter, under pressure from the Scottish defence.
Great vision there through to the goal shooter, Ride.
And Love did well there. It was a good dynamic centre pass. She's shown some speed around the court, just setting up there for that ball to be swung if needed. She needs to hold her position there, and that's a great feed in from Einon
To Barry.
And that's good work from Scotland. And this is good. So they're pushing Australia wide here on this defence, closing them down. That's really good defensive work from Scotland, forcing that. And Australia getting away with that overhead, but they really shut down their movement there.
We're entering the last minute or so of this third quarter of Game 3 on Game 6 at the Netball World Youth Cup Gaborone. Sam, what do you think the coaches will be thinking of as we start to approach the final quarter in this game?
Well, again, I think Scotland have done well. I think they've got better and better as the game's gone on. I think they've got less overwhelmed now by the pace and presence of the Australian team and are scoring more goals. So they could be pleased with their improvement in this game. I think Australia will perhaps change things up again in terms of their strategy on court. I suspect their coach will be wanting to tighten up on some of their loose balls, even though they've been very good, Australia. They like to play a clinical game, and I think they'll be looking for a little bit more of that finesse in the last quarter.
Okay, and we finished the third quarter there with Australia on a score of 73 and Scotland on 16. We've seen a great fight back and some really good passages of play from the Scottish team, coming out with some changes in the third quarter. Australia have made some significant changes and are trying different options in their attacking half. And again, we're just trying to see how they unfold. We now have the teams sitting down and discussing with their coaches. We'll leave you with the highlights and we'll be back shortly for the final quarter.
Botswana. One more time, let's give it up for Team Scotland. And once again, one more time, let's give it up for Team Australia.
You join us as we're about to start the final quarter in this match of Australia versus Scotland. We are through to the playoff qualifying rounds. We've had our pool rounds for the last 5 days, and these teams have made it into the top 8 of the competition, and they're playing off. The winner of this game will play the winner of the game that follows, England versus Jamaica. But the losing team will also get another chance to play off whoever loses that match to find their position in the top 8.
And good work there, just forcing the Australians to have to pass the ball around in order to get into a good shooting position and forcing a miss there. So good pressure early on. Let's see what the Scotland team can do in this last quarter.
Current scores are Australia 74, Scotland 16.
And again, Australia's defence with arms over, very disciplined. Getting, as I say that, the wing D's has been pulled up, but very disciplined marking by the Australians. They're not giving many penalties away at all.
Opportunity here for Scotland.
And a good goal by Barry for Scotland.
Any changes that have been made during that final quarter break, we will get to you as soon as we can.
A nice double play there from Australia. That's a very typical Australian style as well. So one player releasing to their teammate and then taking the ball straight back from them. It's a very fast style of play, very fast tactic. But when it works, it can be very, very efficient against the defence.
It's great to see Scotland continue to fight. As we mentioned earlier, they should be extremely proud to have made the top 8 position. They're up against a formidable Australian team currently. Unfortunately a miss, and the rebound collected from Australia. We can see some Australian fans have come to watch this game today. I'm sure they're enjoying this display of netball.
And Australia were lucky there. The wing attack just had her toes offside, but luckily got away with it. So it's a very difficult skill to, when you're driving onto the edge of the circle, to keep your toes on the edge without being in. But it's the best position to feed from. The closer you can get to the edge of the circle, the more accurate the feed can be.
Well kept on there by Barry.
And good turnover again there by Australia. And it's just their transition that's absolutely fantastic in this game, the Australians. As soon as they get a break, they're down the court as quick as a flash. Often have 2 options available. Whereas where Scotland try and go at that pace, they inevitably make errors. So they need to just slow down, play at their own pace. There's no rush. Just be methodical in their approach when they attack through court. Yes, and good forced error again there. Good defensive work in the circle by Scotland. Those pair are doing well together. They seem to have a good understanding. And I'd just like to see a bit more movement from the Scottish players now. Yeah, because they're struggling with options, bringing the ball through. And that's because there isn't enough movement from the attacking players. And there's often a long option to get that ball down the court, and that's not being offered at the moment.
Just to confirm the changes that we had during that quarter break, we have Metcalf coming on at centre for Scotland, Edgar at wing defence. We also have some changes here for you for the Australian team, with Austin coming on at wing attack. Hinchcliffe moving from goalkeeper, where she played earlier, to wing defence. And Garrett coming in as a new player we haven't seen yet this game, to goal defence.
And although she missed that shot, it's good to see her putting up a long bomb like that. It shows some confidence, not too intimidated by that Australian defence. But she can have another go now. And I'd like to see the Scotland wing attack just hold firm so that ball can swing. And the game just a little bit scrappy at the moment. Australians are now drawing quite a lot of whistle. Let's see if the Scottish side can capitalise on that. Yeah.
It's great to see Scotland still fighting hard in this game. Unfortunately, the interception taken there from Austin. Through to Bride, who gets the goal.
And again, good pressure there, but a good feed, and the Australian shooter Ride is finding some space in that circle just to take that ball on the baseline. She's holding up nice and high, so there's room for the feeder to put it in.
Current score is Australia 80, Scotland 18.
And Australia using the width of the court there beautifully, and it's a great ball in from Austin as wing attack, who's moved to wing attack. She's really sees the ball beautifully, and she's doing quite a lot of damage there at the moment for Australia. Strong drives onto the edge and has great vision into her shooting options. And Australia will want to push on. They want to try and perform as well as they can, setting down the marker for whoever wins the next game. They won't ease up.
They've had an opportunity in this game to put on pretty much every member of their squad of 12. Do you think that was important for them for this game?
Yeah, I think so. It gives the coach some options. She can see all of her options in a competitive environment rather than a training environment, and just gives them more time working together in their attacking unit and defensive units in competition. So she'll probably have a fairly good idea of who she's going to play moving forwards, but she knows if they suffer an injury or if one combination's not working, she's got her backup plan for that. Nice drive there through the court, and that was better strength from the Scotland team. They need to be patient in attack now.
Australia are flying in for every ball, trying to get the interception. Scotland need to have some precision passes, as we can see. Unfortunately, it was replayed.
If you watch Australia now, they've got 2 or 3 options for the ball each time. The movement off the ball is good. Let's see if Scotland can show that as well. I'd like to see a little bit more movement in the attack. That's good work there. And that's nice. That's well played, Scotland. And rewarded with a goal. Well done, Barry.
The bench were happy with that. You can see them clapping.
And good back up there. And a good pick up. Now let's just steady before they feed. That's nice work from Scotland. Make it 2 out of 2 if they can. Great shot. So Australia, you'll see trying a different centre pass with both their wing attack and goal attack high up in the attacking end. That will be a trigger for their defending players to come up and take that centre pass. That will be a set play that they've worked on in training. And the idea being that the back players can come up high whilst the top players can penetrate the circle as quickly as possible. And that often leads to a very quick goal. So their future opponents will have to be ready for that. If Australia set up that centre pass, then the attacking players have to turn on those Australian defenders to stop them backing up.
Current score in this final quarter of Game 3 on Day 6 of the Netball World Youth Cup in Gaborone is Scotland 20, Australia 85.
Yes, good marking there from Scotland. Nearly had them on a held ball there, causing some hesitation. But a great feed there into Ride again. She takes that ball very well. Good drive there. Good attacking play. I'm pleased with this attacking play from Scotland. It's flowing a lot more. And that's a lovely ball in. And that's another difference between the two teams, really. The strength that the Australians have means that they can deliver a long ball over 2/3 of the court fairly easily. And that means that they can spread this Scotland team across the width of the court and make their passes really well. It's very difficult to defend when you open up the opposition like that.
Scotland are still holding strong, playing hard through to the final whistle. We have about 4 minutes remaining of this final quarter.
Let's just see what happens from the back line here on this through court play from Australia. Oh, they were lucky there. That was good pressure from the Scotland team. They just about got the ball through there, the Australians.
The Australian fans, you could see, like that. They don't care how it gets there as long as it gets in.
Oh, lovely drive. Oh, unlucky, just out of court. Beautiful drive in. And that's nice work from Scotland. Oh, lovely passage of play. That deserves a goal if they can get one with that great play.
Still in possession. Let's see if they can work this through to a goal. Australian defence are making it really hard for the Scottish shooters, but they maintain possession, play it round, back to the transverse line. Good movement from the goal attack, but the hands of the goalkeeper is just too much for them.
Fantastic by the keeper. Clean play, using her feet beautifully, but then matched by Sutherland down the other end. Scotland just need to keep, when they take these turnovers, they need just keep possession. They haven't made enough of the ball they've gained, and that'll be something they'll want to improve on going into their match tomorrow, because they have shown that they can take intercepts, but they need to capitalise on those intercepts much more. Again, nice attacking play. Just nailing the shot at the end. And that's better work from Barry. And a nice shot.
Great goal there. So we have Australia 90, Scotland move up to 21. But Australia respond just as quickly.
Oh, another great take. She's reading the game beautifully. And quick hands again. Impressive stuff from the Australians. I'm really impressed with their transition work. It's going to be tough for anybody to stop that quick transition in this competition.
That goalkeeper, Oshanazi, who's just come on, is only 16 years of age and a height of 189 centimetres. So it's great to see some youngsters getting the opportunity in this under-21 age group tournament.
Yeah, and she's been fantastic. She's made a really good impact, very clean, working hard to use her feet to get around the player and reading the game beautifully. You can see that she's just off the shooter now, getting ready to hunt the ball. Any loose ball she's going to take. And again, great defensive work from Australia.
Last few seconds then in this final quarter of Game 3 on Day 6 of the Netball World Youth Cup here in Gaborone, Botswana.
And another clinical centre pass from Australia, 3 passes and in.
Lovely long ball through. Contact called. Can Scotland get a goal in these final few seconds?
Yes, nice shot. Good work.
And that was the last goal of the game. We have got Game 3 here in the Netball World Youth Cup in Gaborone. We have a final score of Australia 95, Scotland 22. Scottish crowd are delighted with their performance. As we've said, these are the playoff rounds and the teams are playing for positions, and they've already made it into the top 8 in the competition, which is a fantastic result. Sam, what have you made of that game so far?
Well, credit to Scotland for putting up a strong performance, particularly after they got over their nerves. I thought they got much better, but Australia have set their marker down. That's a very, very impressive performance by them. You would expect a strong performance, but really good. Australia one to watch as we go into the next rounds.
Fabulous. We'll leave you with the highlights of that last game. We have up next England versus Jamaica. We'll be back with you shortly for that one.
To announce player of the match, and this is our player of the match. And this from Team Australia is our player of the match. And the player of the match is sponsored by the one and only Spa Botswana. Ladies and gentlemen, one more time, let's give it up for Team Scotland. And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up for Team Australia. Thank you, players. Thank you, umpires. Thank you, technical officials. Ladies and gentlemen, the next game will start at 4 p.m. Jamaica will be playing England.